Like,
More.
yeah, up forward more. There you go.
You go live, baby. Okay, we'll do this. There we go. Now I'll be able to see us.
Throw me cornhole back. Throw me 2 cornhole bags.
Go ahead. You got time? You got time?
No, never
So
mind.
your chair won't rock back so far?
Yeah. I'm trying to get it where it go back so far.
You come off the floor.
I'm like, yeah. I don't want to pop a bag.
You're fine, buddy. I promise. Oh yeah, why you done that? It's Joseph 06.
Oh yeah. We're busy
Just
now.
go and go
Yeah. That's good. That's
Show
right.
Haywood, go there. Passport is capital J.
There you go.
J O S E P H. Joseph 06. Join. There you go, bud.
Unless you want to airdrop some videos. It's like, you don't know that shit. That's on.
Hey, you know, let me check our sound. I'm gonna turn this up.
Look what Jackson put on there last year.
Oh yeah. Hey, should I put that speaker right here?
Is it? Is that what's picking us up?
Yeah.
Oh, did I hit?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it right on the edge just so it won't get too hot. Yeah. Sound is clear, he said. I'll tell you what, if he can hear us, let's leave it down there.
Mr. Jeff's watching.
Mr. Jeff Fuller, how you doing, buddy? Mr. Jeff, everybody let us know if y'all can hear us okay. We got a couple minutes still.
2 minutes. What did you say? Joseph 06?
Yeah, capital J. Uppercase J.
Down low. Turn your volume down.
Share. Oh, it told me to share the password. Dylan Cornell.
SOS. I have SOS in this place.
Oh, do you really?
No service.
You ought to have it. Do you have it now? Do you have it now?
Yeah, I have.
Okay,
See,
okay.
unless you're gonna tell
Let's
us
see.
who's asking questions,
Mr. Jeff said,
that's what we need to know. You know, we can turn our phones off as long as, and then if somebody has a question, hey, we have a question, like at the end of the show last week. Jeff, Mr. Jeff, sounds good.
my volume's turned down, so I don't know why that's doing that.
You might have to put on vibrate.
Oh, that's what there you go. That's what I should
See,
have
that's
done.
when we're partners.
I saw a Chandler on there. Okay. Hey, it's almost time, guys. She's full of it.
How do I turn them? There we go. See?
There you go. You got it going on now.
I can see the comments. That's good.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We're ready to get started.
All right.
Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to Wildlife Addiction. We're definitely live on Facebook now.
Facebook.
We're definitely live on YouTube now. And our motto here, guys, look, we're for hunters by hunters.
Correct.
Our goal here is to be a resource for everybody to help them become better hunters. The blue collar hunter is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give them, that's why we have people like you come on. We're trying to do everything we can to make sure that their time in the field is multiplied. That's what we're trying to do. I'm Keith Haywood.
I'm Rodney McBride. I'm Jackson Sherfield.
And we have
Mason Chandler.
Mason Chandler. But what we'll do, Mason, here in a little while is we'll get into what you do. But what we got to do first is without our sponsors, this show, and you're one of our sponsors, without our sponsors, this show just can't happen. And we are so thankful for all of them. And Mac, if you want to start, buddy, and we have some other announcements to make after that was kind of added on. So if you want to start with our sponsors, go ahead.
All right. Admiral Custom Roofing and Remodeling out of Munford, Tennessee. You can call Roger McMullen at 901-461-7040. Admiral Plumbing, also out of Munford, Tennessee. You can call Roger McMullen as well at 901-461-0740. Pioneer Outdoor Sports, call Robert Myers at 659-2400. They're located at 608 Tennessee Street out of Bolivar, Tennessee. Spur Brand, more than just a brand. Go to spurbrand.com or call 215-747-7242. Check out all their hunting outdoor premium quality apparel and accessories. Spur Brand will never treat you bad. They're like family. That's going to be one of the first places I go in the morning.
Yeah, we're going straight to
Straight there.
buddies there. I'm excited about seeing them tomorrow.
Hey, have you seen their hats and
Oh,
stuff?
they got some cool apparel.
They have awesome apparel. Check them out.
I know you're ready to put one of the mouth calls in. Lord mercy. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I gotta love you. All right, Jax, go ahead, buddy.
All right, we'd also like to thank Buckbuster Seed Company. You can call them at 318-336-9890. Christy will take great care of you. Or Google Buckbuster Seed to find a dealer near you. We'd also like to thank Wildlife Seed Solutions. Call Mason Chandler at 731-592-4361. Mason is a real-world seed dealer. Wildlife Addiction Food Plot Services. Call Keith Haywood at 731-780-6426 or Roger McMullen at 901-461-0740. We'd also like to thank Sanders Auto Sales of Greenbrier. Buy there, pay there, no credit checks required. Call Mark Tate at 615-643-3740.
Got you, Jax. All right, we have Reveal by Tacticam. The best way to reach Reveal is to look at tacticam.com. We have Homer Skelton Ford in Millington, Tennessee, hsmillingtonford.com. You can reach him at 901-873-3673. We have Wooten Tractor in Covington, Tennessee. They're your Kubota dealer. My Kubota came from them. You can get 0% financing on a lot of the Kubota equipment. You can reach him at 901-519-3777. You have Wooten Law Firm in Covington, Tennessee. Wooten Law, you can reach them two ways. Website is wootenlawoffice.com, or you can reach them by calling 901-475-1050. RT Outdoors. RT Outdoors, insurance for the outdoor world, hunting lease insurance, hunting club and outfitters insurance, fishing guide and charter boat insurance, lodges, venues. They provide insurance for archery range, gun ranges, just a wide variety. So if you want to reach RT Outdoors, you can call them at 765-761-4377. And then we have First Products, your full turf and agriculture equipment built to last. Call 229-471-4204 or sales at firstproducts.com, and that's 1ST products.com. And they're factory direct. There's no middleman. I've got one sitting right here that I use, that I bought from them. I just can't express the quality of this drill. Thank you, sponsors, for everything you do. We've got some pretty good announcements going on tonight. We've had a big day.
Good day.
I drove up to Nashville this morning to the TWRA. It's the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission. So I drove up there this morning. I'm a little tired tonight. So if I get a little scatterbrained, y'all please forgive me. I'm doing the best I can tonight. And we had something very special happen today while we were up there. Can you show a picture on there, baby? You let me know when it's up there. She's working on it. Y'all bear with her, guys. This is something very special happened today. My daughter's watching. Hey, Brooke. Hey, baby. Okay. Oh, you're on there?
Yep.
All right. The Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission, they chose our buddy, Anthony Landry, as the recipient of the Legacy Award. The Legacy Award was established in 2021. It is to recognize those people who demonstrate a commitment to hunting, fishing, and other outdoor lifestyles in the state of Tennessee.
That's awesome.
And Anthony deserved that more than anybody I know. Anybody that knows Anthony Landreth knew how passionate, or knows how passionate he is about the outdoors. And we did the Tennessee Outside Show together. Anthony Landreth is the reason I'm sitting here right now.
And he will also do this. If you don't even know Anthony and you have a question, you can message him on Facebook, and
Yes.
I promise you, he will get back with you. I mean, it does not matter about anything.
He knows the TWRA book better than most wildlife officers I know. He is
True that.
unbelievable.
Yep.
while we were there, but congratulations, Anthony, you deserve that. And you have been such a mentor to me. And I hope that sitting here, if you're watching this show, that I please you in the work that we're trying to do here. And we definitely want you to be a part of this. And we're not saying that the Tennessee Outside program's over with.
Right.
We lost a building and they're working on that. So those of you that were big fans of Tennessee Outside, just keep your fingers crossed, say some prayers for the show. We're hoping it's going to return with Bubba and the whole crew. And we're missing Roger McMullen tonight. Roger is he's at the Turkey Federation show now. So he's up there doing some work for us. We're going in the morning.
Correct.
Jack, you still gonna try to go with us in the morning, buddy?
Yes,
Okay. Hopefully Mason's gonna get to come. We have another announcement. So all of our apparel is fixing to be online. I'm sorry, baby. Huh? Yeah, show the other pictures. I'm not on that website. So that's Anthony Landreth there.
Mhm.
Or Mr. Anthony Landreth, I should say. What an amazing man. So what, is it on there? Is that with the commissioners there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's a great
Anthony did
picture.
this picture made with some of the commissioners. And all right, go to the next one. And then Roger and I went, and look, we none of us knew that Mr. Anthony was getting this award today. It was announced while we were there, and we were just blessed enough to be there with Mr. Anthony to be, just to be there while he received this award. And it's an honor for him. And I got to meet a lot of the commissioners today. Amazing people. The TWRA is getting ready. The next commission meeting, it's next month. I'm sorry, the date has slipped my mind. I'm telling you, it's been a crazy busy day. I've been on the
Long
road
day.
since, I left here early.
I was talking to you at work.
Yeah.
Going to work.
So the next meeting next month, I will get a date and I will post it on here. That's when TWRA is going to make the proposal for the next 2 hunting seasons for the dates,
When they
limits, regulations.
How long?
It's going to include your CWD unit,
Yeah.
all that. So if you can make it to that next meeting, I'm going to make sure that I put on our website and get the word out on the date. Come there, because your voice matters a lot. But if you can't go and there's something you want to be said, reach out to myself or Rodney or any of us, and we will be a voice for you. We're going to be there. We're going to be lobbying for our hunting seasons. That's what we're going for. And also, our line of apparel is coming out. There's a company called The Locker Room. This is called The Locker Room Clothing Company. We're getting that set up where all of our apparel is going to be on our page. You're going to be able to click a link and you're going to be able to go on there, and it's going to have a list of all the apparel. And you can click on a shirt or a hoodie or whatever it may be, and you can pick colors, whatever you want, order direct from them, ship to them. It's going to be amazing. So we're finally getting all this put together. And one more announcement, and then we're going to roll on with the show. Our buddy Trent Ellis. If you don't know Trent Ellis, you better look him up on Facebook. Have you seen him? He will have you crying. He's laughing so hard. Trent was supposed to come next week to be on the show. Trent has gotten really busy. He has some things that he needs to take care of. We're going to get him on the show.
Anthony's watching now.
Mr. Anthony, thank you for tuning in. I hope you were watching while we announced the Legacy Award you won today, buddy. Well deserved, and an honor to be your friend.
Yes, sir.
But Trent is going to make it. We're supposed to meet Trent at the Federation show tomorrow when we go there and talk to him, and we get to meet. We're going to be there doing some promo stuff for the show. We're going to be doing some promo stuff for our sponsors, Miss Christie and Miss Dino with Buckbusters. We're going to talk to Spur. We're going to have several companies that are backing us, that are supporting us, that we are so thankful for. People like y'all. That's what happened. And what we'll do, we're going on with
last week though. Let's go over Fuller Strong.
Okay,
Last
week.
Hey, that was a great show.
It was a great show.
And Jeff and Carson.
Oh yeah, man. We had a ball, and I want to make sure that we announce their dates on. And look, I know I have a handful of paperwork here, but it's hard to run through the show. The good thing about the Tennessee Outside show was all of my paperwork was behind the petition. You couldn't see it. So if it looks unprofessional, it's because I'm really not a professional. I'm just like y'all. All I'm doing is sitting here trying to promote the outdoors. And that's what we're trying to do. I'm sorry if I have some papers in my hand.
You can look up Mr. Jeff on Facebook and message him if you want to.
That's right.
Since we're struggling on.
And I had everything here. Oh, here it is.
It's right there.
All right. So look, mark your calendar. Fuller Strong Outdoors, their dinner and auction is going to be March the 2nd at the Carroll County Civic Center. And let me tell you, you don't want to miss this. If you don't know what Fuller Strong's about, please look them up. Please look at Mr. Jeff and his family and why they're doing what they're doing.
Amazing people.
He has become a very dear friend of ours, and he is fulfilling the wishes of his daughter, and he is doing some really good work in the community. His community, along with any community that needs Mr. Jeff's help or needs help at all, they can count on Mr. Jeff. So, Mr. Jeff, thank you for what you do. And all right, Mason, we've already announced you. You are the owner of Wildlife Seed Solutions, and you are a supplier for Real World Seed Products,
Yes.
which I buy from you. I buy my Real World beans from you, and you sell some other products of theirs. What is your job title? You not only do you own the seed business, but you work for
My seed business is my side.
that's your kind of your hobby.
Yeah.
That's your hobby. But what you do for a living, you have a degree in
I have a degree in ag engineering
ag
from
engineering.
Martin,
Mhm.
from UT Martin. Master's is in system science and ag. It's fancy for ag engineering is what it is.
Sounds pretty fancy to me.
I can't even tell you what it really is. I don't remember. So
And what we had planned on doing tonight with you, Mason, was we were going to talk about everything, but we can't squeeze all that anymore. We can't
No,
squeeze
there's no
food
way.
plots and soil conservation. That's what you do for them is you're in soil conservation, correct?
that's my full-time job.
That's your full-time
Yeah,
job.
I'm a soil conservationist.
But y'all do prescribed bones, y'all do
Yes.
management.
Mhm.
And what we're going to have to do, we're going to get into a lot of the food plot stuff tonight. And hopefully next Friday we can have you back and we'll roll over into some prescribed bones, when to do it, what it's for, what it benefits. And we're going to get into some of the management side then, because that's kind of, I'm still learning on that stuff. But tonight I really want to dig into some food plots, man. Because you love planting food plots too.
And that stems from my master's research too. So
Yeah.
I did it all in cover crops.
Yeah.
So it all kind of intertwines together,
Right.
but yeah, I like doing it. It's pretty fun.
Oh, I could only imagine. I didn't forget. Yeah, serious. Our man Jackson, before we get into this though, tell him about your weekend. Well, he wasn't here last week because you were fishing a tournament last week.
Yes, sir.
What tournament were you fishing?
It was a field dance, giant bass open.
At,
It was a Pickwick,
uh-huh.
and I think there's 4 or 5 more on Chickamauga, Douglas, Kentucky Lake.
And this is outside of your school fishing
Right,
tournaments.
yeah.
This is
This
tournaments.
is a big bass tournament.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So how did that run? I kept up with you all
Mhm.
weekend. So they had different, okay, during your school tournament, I'm trying to figure this out.
Right.
Do you have a certain weigh-in time?
Yes.
When
So
you're-
there'll be one weigh-in time for everybody. Bring your best 5 on a regular school tournament,
Okay.
and so usually it's around 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
So, and then per 25 boats, there'll be like a 15-minute, interval between, 1 through 25, weigh in at 3, and then 25 through 50 will weigh in at 3:30 or something like that.
Mhm.
Kind of keep them split up.
Yeah.
But
But
so
this tournament, that
this
you
was
fished,
hourly weigh-in.
hourly weigh-in.
Right.
So if you miss that hour, could that fish carry over to the next hour?
Yes.
Okay,
So you
so
can have 3 fish per person in your boat at
I
all
got
time.
Uh-huh.
And you weigh in really however you want to. And if you want to hold a bigger fish for the next hour, or go ahead and weigh it in now. And so it's just whenever you feel like
Right.
your best odds are.
And you had a partner you were fishing with. So
Yes,
you were fishing in what they call the youth.
So there was an adult division and a youth division.
Okay.
So I fished with an adult, but I was, any fish that I caught was mine in the youth division. So,
Gotcha. Well, how did you do in this tournament?
so
I know.
I won 2 hours, and then I got second place another hour. My partner got second place in the adult division 1 hour. So we walked away with a little money.
Yeah.
Covered our weekend and a little more, so that was fun. It was slow. Pickwick was a little slow.
Was it? Well, it was.
Like on Sunday, we only had 2 bites, and we weighed in both those fish.
So you
to
caught
catch a
both.
check.
I mean, every bite matters.
Absolutely.
Always matters, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that qualified you to move on to.
So yeah, if you won an hour at that tournament, you automatically qualified for the classic at the end of the year. And I don't think they've announced where it'll be yet, but that'll be exciting.
Dude, that's awesome. You know, everybody knows how proud we are of Jackson, and you got a bright career, buddy, in the fishing industry. And I hope I'm getting. I ought to be getting autographs now, but
Yes, sir.
I really hope that one of these days I'm watching you walk up on that Bassmaster stage, dude, and you're weighing in, and you win the big prize. That's what our goal is here. So just keep grinding, buddy. Keep grinding. Parents, let this young man be an example of being raised right, because he is definitely being raised right. And we love him here. I know that.
That's correct.
All right. So sorry, y'all, for the dogs. I'm not gonna let them out. Just let them out and make them stay out. I'm sorry. Like I said, we're not as professional as we could be. We have a very busy house, so we could call this shop talk. We do all this show out in my shop. We're the hangout house, so we have vehicles up and down the driveway all night long. All right, let's get into some food plot stuff.
All right.
Mason, I like to feed 365. I like to feed deer. Other than planting and growing time, whatever that falls into, where I really don't have much coming out of the ground, I'm trying to feed my deer.
Yep.
All the time. And
At all, the 365 green,
that 365 green.
and that's.
And we run, and I can tell you, and they've got some stuff there too, and I may try to jump in over some of their questions, but it's funny. I was not, but I design. I'm not a food plotter by design. My son, which is 22 now, was 5 years old, and I had a field. We were going to get ready. You know, we had juvenile hunt coming up, and I thought, man,
You talking about Mercer?
no, I'm talking about it's off Mercer Road.
Okay.
One of our farms out that way.
Okay.
I had a Poland weed eater. You ever seen the little tiller heads that they put on a Poland weed eater? That's all I had to my name for food plot.
Yeah.
And this food plot that I made for my son was between a 1/4 and a 1/2 acre. It was pretty big. I was gonna put Lord have mercy, I forgot what I put out there. I put I'll tell you about it earlier. I didn't draw a blank. But 4 jokes. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna put but 4 jokes out there. It took me, look, it was 100 degrees outside. It took me 2 full days. I think I died 3 times with this little Poland weed eater head cutting trails that
And
wide.
if you know this cat,
I don't quit.
hey, we were doing a food plot last year. He said, Mac, it won't take us 5 minutes. It's about an acre. It's about 2 acres, and we were going to do it by foot. I said, no, I'm taking my 4-wheeler.
I've got a good one about the first ones I ever did before I knew what I was doing, and my best friend was with me because we always get into stuff that's just, we could write a book
Oh,
on
yeah.
all the
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
stuff we've done.
Oh yeah.
When we had it was at my wife's at my father-in-law's house behind his house. That's where all the big deer is singing, whatever.
Right.
I go in there and I make 2 little plots. I mean, they're not. I don't even know how big they were. They were tiny.
Right.
They were huge. So I was trying to do it by hand. I
That's
go in
right.
there with a handsaw,
Mm-hmm.
an axe, a wheelbarrow with lime,
Yeah.
fertilizer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do all this. Of course, he wants to kill me because I'm like, just come help me.
You're right.
It's 110 degrees at that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We
Oh,
did both of them.
Yeah.
And I'm back there, and we made this. We welded this frame
Mm-hmm.
out of angle iron and put nails on the bottom.
Yeah.
For a drag.
Right.
Well, I didn't think that it was going to get hung on every stump that was in there. So, and I'm sitting there, I'm walking around in circles, and he's just sitting over looking at me. He's like, "This
Well,
is
you're
not
pulling
going
it
to work."
by hand.
Oh yeah,
Everything by hand.
Boy. Attaboy.
I was.
You remind me of myself.
It was awful. It was terrible. It's actually still in the woods.
No,
It's
is it?
still down there
Is it? No
because I left it. I was like, I'm not pulling this thing out.
You don't need it anymore.
It'd be a great thing to use now, but
If you had a pole or a lawnmower, something to put it behind.
I need to go get that.
Hey, Craig, ride it. We'll get it and you can ride it. I'll pull you on the
Man,
floor.
we've been there before
It
too.
was a massive failure.
Oh,
I had to,
epic
the
fail.
peas came up, the peas that were in it, they came up about this tall. It was 7-card stud is what I bought from Walmart.
Right.
And it didn't come up.
I mean, that's how I started. I mean,
It was
I knew
terrible.
nothing about food plotting. I didn't know anything about lime. All I knew to do was break the ground up.
I didn't even break the ground.
And,
Leaves off the ground.
I threw it out there. I threw fertilizer on it, and then I rode the 4-wheeler over and over and over. But you know what it made? I was shocked. And my son went out there on juvenile hunt. Got a doe that morning, a buck that afternoon, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked. Have you ever tried to do a food plot?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we used to do them at our old deer camp.
Did y'all have, fairly decent equipment? Because it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't take.
We just
You don't have to.
do the seed by hand, and then we had like an old fence.
Yeah.
Drag.
Yeah. And
I threw that down. Grow and grow.
That's
Yeah.
what
More so.
that's what we
well,
need.
let me tell you,
Didn't work.
yeah, and that's some of the things that we want to touch on tonight. We want everybody that's the do-it-yourself people to learn that food plotting is not that difficult to do. And you don't have to have, I finally, over the years, I went from doing it with the Poland weed eater with a tiller head to a 4-wheeler with a homemade, drag.
Way better ways to do it
There is,
Right.
but
than by hand.
but for sure. But they make so many good implements
They
now.
do.
And your weekend warrior that wants to have a couple half-acre food plots can get that done pretty easily.
Okay.
But here's the problem. You start running into what will grow and what won't grow. And that's what I had to learn, because I was a victim of the pretty bags, and being endorsed by certain people.
Yep.
And look, I'm not saying that there's bad seed blends out there, because there's some really good seed blends by some really good companies. And there's a bag sitting right there on the floor that we're going to talk about later. But it took me, and my son's 22 now, but for really the last 4 years, I have really started doing test plots everywhere. I run them in the yard. I run them on the farms. I have run. So what I started doing was just I was letting the deer tell me what they wanted to eat. That's kind of where I am today. And so Jackson, when y'all did them, y'all had a tractor and y'all had
Just a 4-wheeler for a drag.
but it works. It works. We'll get into the pH and we'll get into fertilizer in a minute. But we really want the do-it-yourself people to understand that you don't have to go out and buy a $50,000 tractor and a $15,000 drill. You don't have to do that.
A little hard work.
It's
a little hard work.
There's a big thing that I've learned, and this is coming from like my full-time job, I guess, but I know you like tillage. But there's a reason, because you have to make sure, when you have to guarantee it comes up,
right.
There's a difference. But when I started, and I do this on my own, the no-till plots are huge for people. Like, you can go in, I will let the first time I did it, I let grass grow up. Go in there and spray it, let it die for 2 weeks. I would walk through chest-high weeds, spreading this mix, come back and bush hog on top, it comes up. Because when you've got the seed on the ground and then you mow on top, that all that lays down, that is a moisture. Yes. And if you can, once you perfect it, then it will come up. But even like with that drill, you could do bush hog and you could till right into it. You could plant it right into it and it'll be fine.
That's right.
And
I have my purposes for what I do.
Yeah.
My bigger grain, the corn, the soybeans, sunflowers.
It's weed control.
Yeah.
There's different, because you are going to be a little bit more weedy when you
because you can broadcast sunflower. You can broadcast beans, and you can broadcast corn, and you can pack it in. But I like growing it. I like for it to look good, and I am able to. That's what I prefer, because that works good for me.
And it is a preference thing.
And it is a preference thing, but you don't have to have it.
And I'm limited on what I have right now, because, and that's what I have. Luckily, I have access to a 35 horsepower tractor and I have a 5-foot bush hog.
Yeah.
I dug a 5-foot disc out of the bench row,
Yeah.
fixed it,
Yeah.
got it to where it could work.
Uh-huh.
That's how I started at first. So I do both.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I tried it, but usually like my smaller stuff, clover plots, I do till those up,
Mm-hmm.
but it just depends on how you want to get it started. Like cultipator is huge.
Yes.
Some way to get it to
Soil,
I've
seed
done
and
it.
soil.
and I've done it before where I didn't have a cultivator.
Mhm.
It really doesn't come up that well.
That's right.
Even a drag, I found a gate.
Yeah.
A chain link gate.
Yeah.
And put cinder blocks on it, and I drug it around in a circle. It looked like a baseball field.
Oh,
When I
yeah,
got done,
yeah.
it came up great.
Right here beside the shop, that's where I run my test plots. My wife told me I gotta put them out the pasture next year. We got rid of the horses, so she wants that side pretty
Yeah.
green, so I gotta. But so what I did out there was, and look, when I say that I am trying, and I have done a whole lot over the past 4 years,
Mhm.
I have run multiple seedlings, and I don't favor any of them. If I have a pocket of woods, I run my food plots that way, and I let the deer tell me what they're wanting to eat.
Yep.
And whether it be from if you name them, I've tried it.
There's a statement, Mr. Richards asked,
Mhm.
question, do you have a floating food plot? He needs one.
A floating food plot.
I guess it's in the bottoms or something like that.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
My dad tried that when I was young.
Uh-huh.
He went and got some things.
Yeah.
It actually came up. I
Mhm.
can't remember what he used, but I think he took a disc down in the bottom, and they came up. They were nice. I mean, they were that tall.
Right.
Bottom flooded.
Oh,
he was upset, but
Oh, I
it's-
imagine.
I mean, I've seen like the first plot we've done, like you don't even a spreader.
Mhm.
There's a spreader. I had a little plastic jug,
Yeah.
and I poured the seed because my dad came and helped me. And he was out there, and I was pulling it around in circles,
Uh-huh.
and he was steady walking around the thing, just taking it, and grabbing it, and throwing it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Is this gonna work?" I was like, "I don't know. We're doing it anyway."
That's right. I mean, and that's the only way to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
You got anything, Jack? What you got, man? Just, man, I'm ready to. Are y'all gonna try some food plots this year?
We did some 2 years ago. We didn't do any this year, and I can tell the difference, big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll do some next year.
Having anything is better than nothing.
Mhm.
But we're gonna let's talk about pH for a second.
How do you know how much pH you put? I mean, how do you know? How do you?
Well, that's the soil sample.
I mean,
you
yeah,
go
yeah,
out and you get a soil sample. And what I worry most about when I do mine is I worry about my pH.
Yep.
You can get so in depth with y'all
And
that you're looking at,
micronutrients
yeah,
and-
micronutrients, magnesium. You're looking at a broad spectrum of potash. I mean, what are you looking for?
I mean, we do. I mean, it's every magnesium. I mean, calcium.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at one in so long, but
Right.
there's I don't know how many different micronutrients. I'm not the soil guy.
And see,
I mean, I've done it, but I'm not the
Right.
technical soil. That's not my expertise.
Right.
I'll put it that
And
way.
I'm not a
Yeah.
biologist by any means. I've learned mine by doing it. And so at the end of the day, we know that fertilize is what helps. Well, it has different purposes. You have nitrogen that greens and makes it grow.
Yes.
And you have the P and the K, and one is for root structure, and it gives it a good root system.
Yep.
Helps it absorb nutrients.
Mhm.
And but the one thing that I did learn, and look, I didn't learn all this. I mean, I've watched podcasts and I've watched, but read everything, and I've tried everything. I was talking about my test plot beside the house here. Just this test plot out here that I did in the real world beans, I did lime. I went out there and did it. So I broke it in half, and I did lime, traditional pelletized lime on one end. I did what we have right here,
Yep.
which is a liquid calcium.
Yep.
On the other end, I drilled, I broadcast. I'm sorry, I said my beans. I didn't mean my beans. I meant my buckbuster seed. I'm sorry, that was my fault then. I drilled part of it, half of it, and then on the other end, on my other half, I broadcast it, and I cultipacked one side and I didn't cultipack the
Yeah.
other. And then I tried different fertilizers. So I did some, on part of it, I did a till-in fertilize.
Mhm.
And then on the other, I did one of their products that the Deer Grow, it was the Deer Grow.
It was it Plot Start or Plot Boost?
It was Plot Boost.
Plot
I
Boost,
did Plot
yeah,
Boost.
that's
I
liquid
tried the
fertilizer,
liquid
yeah.
fertilize, and then I did I think it was called Evergreen. I got it from one of my suppliers out of
Mhm.
Jackson. It's a green powder, and it's a triple 20.
Yep.
And you mix it with so many pounds with water,
Yep.
and everything turned out really nice, actually. So I guess at the end of the day, what I was trying to look for was what would be most cost efficient
Yep.
for the guy wanting to put the food plot in, and the easiest way to do it.
Yep. Mhm.
I've read articles, and you're going to have, if you ask 10 people, you're going to have 10 different answers. It's like that with a lot of things. I saw where one guy said, look, if it's calling for 4 tons of lime, how do I trust putting how am I going to pour liquid?
Yep.
But this 2.5 gallon liquid calcium here is equivalent to,
So 2.5 gallons is equivalent to 1,000 pounds. So 5 gallons is 2,000 pounds of lime. But if somebody's telling you that you need 4,000 pounds of lime, you might.
yeah,
Do not put 4,000 pounds. It can only react with 2,000 pounds per acre over like a 6-month period.
I didn't read that.
It's released out.
yeah,
Do not, if you put it, you're wasting your money on half of that.
gotcha.
If someone tells you need to put 4,000 pounds, you put a spring application and a fall application.
Gotcha. I did read that, and
But-
that was going to be what I did this year.
Yes.
If I needed to put that much out, I was going to run that kind of test.
But the liquid calcium it's an instant reactor.
Instant reaction.
The ag lime, you still need ag lime. Like calcium, or this liquid calcium it does not replace your ag lime. Your ag lime is a long process.
That's right.
But because that is instantly, it makes, so what pH does, I don't know if you may have heard this, but you've got like that liquid fertilizer is magnesium, boron, I can't remember exactly what all this left in it, but if you can have all the nutrients that you need in the soil. If your pH is too low, that the roots cannot soak it up.
Right.
It's like locked. It's like
Right.
locked in the soil until
Right.
your pH is in that 5.5 is not bad.
Right.
Crop wise, not real good.
Not real good,
Here-
because
here's
you're
the
looking-
real-
Yeah, they're looking at,
What number does that need to be at? You say 5 is not too good, but what do you want to be at?
So on my end, 6.5 to 6.8 is the best. 6.5,
I've learned
6.8.
that. I mean, I've learned everything off him.
Yeah.
So you say 5 is too low, but you want between 6 and 7.
And that's like the closer you can get, it's really hard to get to that 6.8.
Okay.
But like 6.5 is pretty good. But if we have guys bring in a 5.8 or a 6.0, that's pretty good pH.
that's pretty good.
In my
pH.
opinion.
And a lot of your seeds on the bag will say, look, this is going to grow good between 5.8 and 7.3,
Yeah.
And Jackson, I hope you're learning something here, because I know that, you're the fishing guy, and Rodney is the turkey guy. And I knew this show was going to be tough because it was going to be a lot of intertwining talk between Mason and I'm trying to,
I mean, if
you know it.
There's a reason why we have things like over in Chicory. That's the reason why they're called a logging road blends
Uh-huh.
and trail, because if you're in the woods, I guarantee you your pH is going to be.
You're going to be real
If
sick.
you're going to be above 5, I'm going to be surprised.
Right.
It's going to be north of 5, you might get 5.5,
That's right.
but it's very acidic. Pine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
That's going to be super acidic on you.
But that's why you got those. That's why a lot of people on the logging road, you're planting oats, you're planting wheat, to do.
They are
They
easy.
come up, they grow in the bed of your truck.
They do.
Right.
They
you
do.
can grow oats and not even have to till or nothing. They'll
come up.
They'll germinate in
Yep.
That's right.
leaves.
Your typical throw and grow plants, what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of fillers. It's going to give it that, it's going to pass that eye test.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have rye.
Yeah.
You're going to have things that will grow on this asphalt right here in this concrete.
I don't think deer they'll eat oats. I don't think deer like wheat. I don't think they
I
think they like barley.
I'm with you.
I don't know, but I don't know.
No, and I can prove it because we grow so many test
You've
plots.
done the
every year.
research.
We do the research
Yeah.
by putting our boots in the dirt and putting seed in the ground.
Tell them about Mercer Farm.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did me
So,
talking about this.
My buddy here,
He's gonna pick
we
up
had
here.
one of our farms in Mercer, and the last year they planted beans twice. It was last year and this year were just terrible years for fall plots.
No
And
rain.
we're going to get into the spring plot stuff in a minute to help carry you over.
Mhm.
And then we're going to talk about the Buckbuster seed and what we do. But we ran in the fall, we ran 5 different blends there, 6 different blends there. So we have a blind, and I had 6 different blends that ran out, and I tried to keep everything pretty fair as far as deer activity, where they historically came from,
What do they do?
and everything and I gotta look. If I didn't know Christy, if I didn't know anything about Buckbuster seed other than that it's Buckbuster seed, every deer made a beeline to it. Even over some of the other stuff.
Guess how far he put that food plot out?
It was the farthest
Oh,
one out.
I mean, it was way up
So
there.
it was, yeah, I did it on purpose
Yeah.
because I knew Clown here was gonna make it shot. So I didn't have to worry about any deer being killed off of it because
I got one.
he
I got one, baby.
Hail Mary.
You know,
Yeah,
I
Hail
told him,
Mary.
I told him to be honest with me. I gave him some of the stuff that's comparison to that. I said, be
Yeah.
honest with me.
Yeah.
How was it? He said, they still walk over to hit the book. Well, dang it.
Yeah,
and said, back, you see that deer over there? I'm like, oh, where? In the Buckbuster. It was like in the next county over. In the world.
I didn't intend on that. We were growing what we were,
Just trying.
we were
Trying different stuff.
we get online and we look at things and we look at seed blends and we go, hey, they say it's gonna work great. So let's, they got the big bucks on the bag. They got the pretty colored bags.
Mm-hmm.
This is the blend that's in it.
I'd like to see a mix of the bean when they die.
Mhm.
Mix Buckbuster in the
That's exactly what I do. So let me tell you what we do for the spring. Okay? Here's what we do for the spring. And then we're gonna talk about the mix that we come up with and why. So there's a big difference between, I'm a huge bean fan, and corn has a place. Corn has a place in a food plot for me, but I'm gonna tell you with corn where I want my corn for buffer and for bedding, but I want it for my turkey more than anything.
Yep.
I want that corn if I can grow enough of it and keep coons under control. The deer are gonna hit it,
Mm-hmm.
but I want it from a turkey.
Good.
That real world beans, it has more carb and fat in it than that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll tell you how I grow my fall plots. And to me, it's a lights out combination. So if you're going to grow beans, especially if you're going to grow a forage bean like this, whether it's through Real World or anybody else that grows a forage bean, you're looking at a much higher protein content. The plant itself is a sweeter life to them. It's very digestible. And they really hammer it. So what I do is I wait 2 weeks after the farmer. If he's put beans on the farm,
Perfect.
I wait a couple weeks after him. I let them sprout. Not only do I do that, but I put my beans out. I typically go about 4 acres on my beans because I know I need much browse pressure.
Mhm.
Okay? And then I usually what I do is about an acre off of it. I run a mix that we're putting together. I love Ladino clover. I love granite clover.
Mhm.
I love chicory. They hammer it.
Remember,
And
turkey comes to that too.
Turkey.
yeah,
That's
and I love sugar beets.
Yep.
And so we ran a plot like that because sugar beets. So we're going to get into that. But the reason I run a second plot at my beans because I'm trying to take some browse pressure off.
Mhm.
And I put my beans farthest off the wood line. They'll come out and they'll browse my edges where I have my acre, and then they have to work their way into my beans. And it's truly saving my beans. It really is.
Mhm.
If you could have been flying with me when we had snow,
Mhm.
it was absolutely unbelievable. And not only the snow, but just when it got to those cold temperatures,
Oh, yeah. They hit it.
it's unreal.
They run through
They
it.
did.
So
That's when you'll see them usually grass.
That's when, but you know what? We have trouble with grasses.
I'll be first to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of turnips.
No, we,
I just don't.
and I'm not trying to deter anybody because, you know, each farm, I mean, we may have a farm, you may have a farm 300 acres away and they're hammering Nebraska.
Some people love
But we haven't had that yet. And we're running 20 test plots a year. Not only on us, but on 5 or 6 different farms. We have people that let us run test plots on them, Jackson. They let us do it, and we'll separate this stuff, and the results keep are the same every year after year after year. And the reason I like a sugar beet is it's actually a lot of people may not even know it, but it's not Nebraska. It's not in Nebraska. It's a broadleaf. So everybody's heard, and this is why I added this into my plot. Okay, everybody's heard, or the big October lull. Everybody's heard of October lull. All right. So what did the good Lord put on the ground so hard in October? What's on the ground? That frost. Let's think about trees.
Oh, yeah.
Acres. So our bucks come out. Our bucks go and does go through our summer eating my high protein greens of beans, clovers. All right. Then they harden up. Their antlers harden up, and that testosterone starts kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone through their growing phase. The does have gone through their lactation phase. So we're getting into that October, and the acorns are everywhere. And all of a sudden, the does and the bucks, it's time for their bodies to change, and they're wanting to take in fats. Okay, so let's look at acorns. Acorns contain 40 to 45% fats and 55% carbs.
And you'll see your deer not hit your food
So
plots when those acorns are falling as much. You're gonna let your food plots grow.
So, and that happens, but what we're allowing. So we're looking at all these little acorns laying around that the deer love. White oaks, red oaks is kind of the last ones to fall. The last ones they're bitter. Sugar beets, they produce a lot of fat. There are a lot of carbs in sugar beets. Well, you're talking about a sugar beet being
Some of them,
that
big around.
So what I'm doing with the sugar beets is I'm trying to turn the October lull into my favor zone, and it's working. I'm getting deer coming back out into my food plots in daytime hours, morning and afternoon. They're coming off the acorns and they're coming in to get the sugar beet. And that was a game changer for me. And it was just something I tried and it worked. So,
And that's something that'll go into the spring.
and that's something, absolutely.
Because all the clover, when they start heading out in spring.
That's right.
Turkeys.
That's right. So Jack, I hope you're soaking all this in, buddy, for food plot purposes.
There's one over there.
So here we go, October. We go into and let's get back on the beans. So my beans are starting to yellow. They're starting to dry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between a forage bean and a harvest bean is when a harvest bean dries and it's ready for harvest, the pods bust open. So it's easier for a combine to go through and cut the beans.
And walk through them.
That's right. If they're dry enough. Well,
Mm-hmm.
a forage bean, the pod stays hard, and the beans inside there are containing some crazy high amounts, 30+% protein. I mean, not protein, but carbs and fat. And the deer start to hammer them.
I can't remember what that means. I mean, shit, protein is in them.
It's in the 30s. It's really high.
I think it's 30. They did a test on it.
Mhm.
It's like 30 something. But now the corn, I mean, corn's 13.
Yeah.
Still, corn's high too, but the beans are.
And corn has a place, guys. Corn has a place in the food plot, and I do like that. It's like candy. Too much consumption of corn can hurt. It'll hurt their stomachs.
Yes.
And but if you grow corn as your primary food plot, okay, we're growing corn, and our corn is that tall and it's green, and your deer are eating that, they're starving to death.
They do not. They don't eat green corn.
They don't eat green corn.
No.
So if we're growing nothing but corn, Jackson, for our food plot, we're not providing any nutrition in our food plot for that deer the whole growing season. The whole summer when they're trying to grow antlers and we have fawns being born and the does are lactating. So
makes your temperature.
It does.
Like
It
you
gets
said,
their
a
temperature
couple
up.
weeks ago, like a couple percent of protein or nutrients in one cob of corn.
That's right.
You know,
Trying to see.
Maddie's watching. Hey, baby.
Okay.
Maddie.
We've got so much we could cover on this. And I told Mac and Jackson, like I said earlier before the show, this is something that I do. And look, when it comes to fishing, I'm gonna be sitting up here like, how do you go? You know, he's my fishing guy, he's my turkey guy. And but okay, so let's transition from our summer feed into our winter feed.
Mm-hmm.
My uh, chicory, my clovers, and my sugar beets are going to run me through the winter still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my beans dry up, keep in mind, I put about 4 acres out there. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to till about 1 acre of them in, and I'm going to add buckbusters in the center of that. So I have what's called a green to green concept. You're talking about a food plot setup that I can't find, no matter what I try or what we try on any farm in any county. I cannot find a plot that will outperform that as far as deer sightings. And here in this area, we have 12 counties, I believe, that are CWD. We can't do any supplemental feed. So what we're trying to do with food plots, number one, the reason we plant food plots, everybody, is because we want to see more deer. We're wanting more critters. We want more deer and turkeys in front of us at the end of the day.
That's good.
We want our kids we want to get them close, and we want us and our kids and whoever we go, we want to see more deer. And that's what food plots are for. Ultimately, for us or for most. And for some of us that that is being true conservationists right there in my mind. We're doing our part to take care of our deer herd. And because a piece of property can only sustain so many deer or so much wildlife anyway.
Yep.
So you and I got our heads together. We decided that we're gonna create a blend, and it's going to consist of ladino clover, Durana clover, chicory, and sugar beets.
Technically, it is 2 pounds of ladino, 3 pounds of Durana, 3 pounds of chicory, and 5 pounds of sugar beets.
That's right. So we're going to be with 13-ish pounds.
13 pounds exactly.
And a lot of times, and so we're going to get into fillers in a second too.
Yep.
So not only are all those seeds capable of going through a spreader together,
Yes.
they're going to grow. I know, right? I'm sorry. We can't do it, Matt. That's too big. But we can grow those on a hill. We can grow them in a bottom. They're shade tolerant. They're for the person. They're going to be a great spring summer blend for somebody that has minimal equipment, or they have great equipment.
Yep.
They can go in there. They can plant this. It's going to work.
Yes.
And it has worked across every county that we tried it on. And we're gonna put it out there for them. And if or blend it yourself, if that's what you want to do. At the end of the day, that to me is the ultimate food plot for your spring and summer, and to carry all the way through to give you just about 365. If you don't have access, if you're wanting to plant beans and you don't have a drill, you can absolutely go out there and you can till it.
And even with the right drill, that mix will go through a small seed block over if you have access to it.
If you have access to that.
And that's like you said, there's two different sides to every. So you want to go a drill route, if you can find a drill with a small seed box, which I'll say conservation districts around here, they have it.
Right.
They have the small seed boxes. They're more than likely hay busters.
That's right.
They're a great drill.
Yeah.
They work. They're rentals, but then it's a great mix to fill it up. You can spread it, multi-pack it, you're done. Just watch your rain. But even with your beans, like you say, where people differ, you say you went in and you tilled up a spot. Right. So I literally have planted them, and as the leaves are turning, I will broadcast in the middle. Let the leaves fall on top. It'll grow up in between them.
Right.
So there's two, and there's more ways.
Yeah, as
Did they
far
just
as
want?
getting them in the ground, there's a lot more ways to do it.
Yes.
But let's talk about getting them in the ground. Let's talk about fertilizer.
Yep.
The fertilizer. So nitrogen, and here's what, and I had to learn this also. I didn't know this until a few years ago, and when I put it into practice, and I saw my germination rate go way up. I saw the health of my plants go way up, and they just ended up being a lot healthier plants for the deal. So let's say that you go out there and you want to grow food plots, and you scratch your ground up and you just throw your fertilizer on top of it, throw your seed up there and culture pack. You're going to get some growth, okay? Your nitrogen's going to carry through the ground, and it's going to carry down to that 5, 6, 7 inch depth where your root system is going to be. Which your cave home. And and how I kind of stumbled on with that was I saw a study of a guy, of a farmer in Arkansas that did a 100-acre plot. And what he did was he just broadcasted his fertilizer on top of the ground, and then they started doing soil samples throughout the season. And he found that your P and K lost 50% of it, only 50% of it made it an inch deep. And when they got to 2 inches, there was none. So they weren't even getting down to the root system. And our army worms, not army worms, our earthworms, they're not going to come up through the dirt to get that rich dirt needed and then go back, and they're going to stay deeper. They like that rich soil. And that's a whole different conversation. We can talk about it on another show, getting into all that. But make sure that if you're running a drill, like I have 2 drills. One drill I can run fertilizer straight to my furrow. One drill I can't. I could, but I'd have to clean behind it pretty good. One's stainless, one's not. Make sure you get your fertilized. There's 2 things that I like to do. I like to make sure that I till my fertilizer in the ground about 3.5 inches. But I don't go any deeper than that because of my dormant seed that might be 5 inches deep that I don't want to pull up and I have to fight weeds all year. All right. So this food plot that we're talking about 2. We're talking about the rhino, clover, hickory, sugar beets.
Yes.
All the grass control. We can control the grass with one thing on that blend. Cliff.
Yeah.
We can control everything with it. With a backpack sprayer, with a boom sprayer, whatever you have. We're controlling all of our grasses with one chemical.
Burn down at the beginning, and then if it was weed,
Cliff.
get it.
And you can hit it with Arrest Max, which is made by Whitetail Institute. I'm gonna throw them out there because they make a good thing. It comes, you can buy it. It tells you exactly with this thing how many gallons to pour in. No crop oils needed or surfactant. It's a slow kill, but it's a great kill. And
when we say Clef, I guess we're saying active ingredient. It's not going to be. You got different name brands.
that's right. That's
you go
right.
to anybody and say, "Hey, I need some Clef."
They're going to know. They're going to know what you mean. It might be IMOX or it might be different brands.
I don't know what it does, but
You can go to your local ag store and buy that right over the counter.
I don't think you can buy it over the counter at Tractor Supply.
I don't ever get it from there. I always go out to my ag guys here, and if they're running low, I have ordered it from Whitetail Institute.
Yeah.
And it works wonderful.
You can get this.
Beans, Roundup Ready.
They are.
They're Roundup Ready.
There is another brand. There is another one if you're interested. They're Enlist beans.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, there's just 3 more chemicals you can spray on it besides Roundup.
Right.
So they're $25 more back.
Right.
So that's the difference.
So, yeah,
Big difference.
the Enlist is 25 more bag?
$115 a bag.
Oh, yeah, and
You go
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
we plant these.
I'm not planning Enlist one. It's a great bean. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so, and what I did with my beans, guys, I went in there with a product called Makazi. I got some more over here. Makazi is a glyphosate product, and it has a built-in surfactant. So I don't have to add or mix a crop oil. It's ready to go. you just read the instructions. Typically how I do my burn down is about 3 ounces to a gallon. I plant my beans, and then when there's a certain stage I let them get, or a certain height I let them get, I just start kind of watching, start seeing the leaves trying to pop back up. I had to spray one time last year. I went right over them with about 2.5 ounces and smoked the grass, and they turned out absolutely gorgeous. And I'm telling you, they condition soil. Not only us growing our clovers and stuff, it's going to add nitrogen. It's going to pull in natural nitrogen from the air.
It is.
We're building soil, and we're feeding deer something that we know they like, and we know it works because we have done it and we've proved it for years. We've proven against everything. And I'm sorry, guys.
Not that expensive.
It's
Not that expensive to do this.
It's not terrible.
Now, if you like pretty food plots, if you have Johnson grass problems, you got pigweed problems, and you do like your fruit plots, it looks like, but you want to do the investment.
You
It's
do.
something that you can spray if you want it.
That's right.
Because it
That's
can,
right.
pigweeds and Johnson grass, they can choke out.
They will. And Johnson
So-
grass be 8 foot tall.
Roundup will not kill Johnson grass.
That's right.
I mean,
Well,
it's not
yeah,
well.
yeah.
It's
It'll
just
shut
not.
it back pretty hard.
Yeah.
So we could go on and on and on. I never even looked down any of my notes, and that's a good thing.
Do you want to do in more depth mix,
As far as telling them,
or do you want
we probably need to wait on
to?
that.
Okay.
We're going to offer it,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure we've already got a supplier.
Get it?
It's going to be bought directly from you. Wildlife Seed Solutions. We're going to offer it here pretty soon. But it's time. Look, if you're going to go out and if you're going to put line down, if you need to go start doing soil samples now,
Right. I
because
know that.
This is time.
this is time. You're going to need some time for that soil to.
You could run into your application.
That's right.
And I don't know, a lot of your local places you can take soil samples to.
Uh-huh.
The best one I've seen for like around here, I mean, you can send them to Waters Lab, but that's all a headache. But is it what? No, or is it Antler King? Somebody, they both have.
Antler King is who I typically order my sample kits from.
Okay.
And they've been real active. All I care about is my pH.
I can do them too. I can send them to people. I can send them first.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, it's probably because they come with a bag.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They come with a bag and they mail it back to you.
Well, yeah, well, the ones I have, I carry distilled water as a box up there. I have a kit. There's kits in it. I go out there. It takes 20 minutes to a sample.
So it tells you on the spot.
It tells you on the spot.
Oh, that's great.
It tells me on the spot. It's very
Close enough.
accurate. Yeah. It's close enough to get me, because generally your bags are going to tell you what, this is where the pH, where it grows the best.
Yeah.
And then here's the recommendation for lime, if needed, and fertilize per acre.
Yep.
It's going to tell you that. They make it pretty simple. So, we could go on and on and on about this, but we're running late. Jackson, buddy, I apologize for us talking so much about food plots tonight. But we're fixing to look. I'm fixing to get on you hard as fishing, buddy. Hard. I'm gonna be over here like, I grew up fishing. I didn't grow up fishing like you. I grew up fishing with my grandfather on the local Hatchie River and our local lakes, and we caught poppy one at a time, and and I bass fished that like snatch a jaw. We catch some bass out there.
Oh,
Dude, yeah. What you do compared to what I know about fishing, we're not even in the same league. We're not even in the same league, buddy.
I don't know how to start. I mean, especially in all the lakes that he fishes.
Yeah.
They're not easy.
Yeah. Even with the live scope that you can use now.
I mean, so how deep is Pickwick? Say you.
It varies.
The river's 550 or 60 feet.
Good night.
Yeah.
There's probably some parts, I don't know, maybe 70 or 80. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, and we go fish, like you said, a little mud.
That's right. We can see our structure. Look, I love
Not
to
one, baby.
Take a spinner back.
yeah, spinner bait.
Like up on the arms, we'll sit there at the water and catch them 50, 40, 50 bucks.
Really.
Anytime.
And so I'm anxious to get in because here's where we are right now. Deer season's over. A lot of people are flipping that switch to turkey season, or they're flipping that switch to crappie and bass fishing. But if you love to manage your deer, if you love to do plots, it's time to start thinking about that, and it's time to start preparing for it. So now, what now?
He's still waiting for turkey season.
Yeah, don't
Well,
wait. Yeah,
wait.
well,
Yeah,
well, or unless you already have them established, like we do.
Yeah.
So-
When do you get?
Well, this buckbuster blend, the turkey, hammer it. They hammer it.
Cross seeding. Right now, I mean, really right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
If you want your stuff up for crazy around here, you've got, it should not, I'm not gonna say already, what are we? What are we? Wait, are we in March yet?
Yeah, this is 16th.
Late March is when you need, really, get on it.
So we're gonna get Mason back on here next week. We're gonna get more into something I don't know a whole lot about that I'm really eager to learn. And that's gonna be your prescribed bone.
We need that very bad on
need
some
it.
farm.
And we can talk about,
That helps
you know,
so
learning
good.
forage and making, you know, there's native grasses and what's good for turkey and goats and deer bedding. And, you know, I do know a little bit about hinge cutting and making some bedding areas. I do know some of that, I studied that, but as far as prescribed burns, maybe we need to talk about how to get our license to do that, what we do, or tell people how they can get their license to go do it. But one other thing before, because Jackson, I know we love the Jackson folks in prayer. Think about your spring plots, guys, because historically September and October is super dry. And I'm gonna tell you that, and once again, I'm gonna brag on this buckbuster season because we put a lot of blends out.
We sure did.
And they had to sit dormant for a lot of days. And I'm talking weeks. And it sat there and it took it. And it did great for us. So anyway, look guys, this is a little after 3. I mean after 8. I told you I was scared. I had it backwards. It's not 3:08.
You told people, who has the.
I know, buddy. But look, tomorrow, if you see us at the Turkey Federation show, we're gonna be there. And please, if you watch this show, please come up to us if you want to quit. Let us shake your hand. Let us thank you for viewing and being a part of this show. Jackson, I'm gonna let him say we're gonna have that in a prayer. We're gonna tell everybody good night. Let everybody
Tell them the
just
content that's coming up.
No, I'm not gonna talk about that yet. That's in a different show.
All right, so this week's verse is Genesis 1:26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground."
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you. And if anybody out there that's listening right now, and you're not,
Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
thank you, Mr. Jeff, for everything. And we know Mr. Bill is watching. But my prayer before we go is if you're watching the show and you're not saved, I'm as I say quite often, you know, and I don't want anybody to hurt, but I want the Lord to kind of put a burden on their hearts, and I want them to go to their knees and ask for Jesus Christ to be their Savior, and that they'll know what living's about then, won't they? So, but thank you guys, everybody, for watching, and it really means a lot to us for y'all to sit there and watch us, some good old country boys that love to hunt and fish, try to be an avenue, run our mouths, and try to help y'all be better outdoors. And that's all we're trying to do, guys. Mike, you got anything?
Hey, thanks for watching. See you in Nashville tomorrow. Come and check us out. If you see us, say hey to us, and hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you'll be back next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good.
Thank you, buddy.